You said yes again, didn't you? I know you did. Even though you were tired, even though you didn't want to say yes, even though you knew deep down inside that you were abandoning yourself to make someone else comfortable yet again. Now you're sitting there and you're resentful and you're wondering, why is it so hard for you to say no? Why do boundaries feel so hard for people to set? It's because most of us were not taught to set boundaries, especially as women. We were mostly taught to be somewhat of peacekeepers, to be the ones that hold it all together, even if on the inside we're falling apart. I heard someone say this and I never knew exactly what they meant until I experienced this myself. But he said, no is not a word. It's a sentence. No is a sentence. And that is so true. Saying no isn't mean. It's sacred. It's like you hold this power to use that sentence, no. We confuse kindness with compliance. It's the craziest thing, because just that one thing trickles down into our whole entire life. What have you been told? Just be kind. If you're put in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, don't voice that situation makes you feel uncomfortable. Just deal with it until, you can get out of that situation. And, we confuse love with overgiving. We feel like we have to give everything. And if we do that, then somehow we're going to get this love that we're seeking. And we think that if we somehow say no to someone, that we're going to disappoint everyone. And then we have this thought process that they're going to think that I'm selfish, or they'll stop needing me. But the honest truth is, every single time that you allow those thoughts to get in your head because of your decision on telling someone or something no, you at that very moment abandon your own needs. And it's true. You quietly teach yourself, and it's like you're teaching your nervous system that you don't matter. You start to train your mind that your feelings and your boundaries no longer matter. And over time, what happens is that becomes your overall identity. You ever hear someone say, "Oh no, it's cool. Ask you, because you will for sure do whatever they want you to do, and you'll never say no, because that's not in your nature. You're just so nice, and you're always going to say yes and be the first person to raise their hand to do the thing that you know deep down inside that you really don't want to do. You're the strong one. You're the dependable one. You're the one that everyone can turn to, but no one checks in on you." That just equals to, or equates to, burnout and just flat out exhaustion. And it's not like a physical exhaustion but it can become a physical exhaustion, but it starts here. You just get like mentally exhausted because you have emotionally neglected yourself. You've just emotionally said, my needs don't matter, but everybody else's needs do. So I want to clear this up just in case you guys are wondering. Boundaries are not walls. Just because you set boundaries does not mean that you put up these walls and you're going to have a complete breakdown. They're just doors. And the reason why I say that they're not walls and they're doors is because walls, people have to bust through them. You're not asking for people to bust through your walls. What you're asking is for someone to simply knock and be told that they can enter. And what it does is it creates this clarity, not only for you, but it creates the clarity for the other people as well. And it's not you saying that you don't care. It's not. It's saying that you care about yourself so much that you're not going to allow people to dictate how and what you do every single day. So let's make it practical. Like, a boundary can sound like something like, let me think. I'm not available to talk at 6, but I certainly can talk at 8 o'clock, which would work better for you. Rather than you feeling like you have to talk to a certain person every single time that they call, you might be busy, which can lead to anxiety and you building up this level of resentment towards this person because you've allowed yourself to, have them dictate what you do. So something simple. Hey, look, I'm not available to talk until after 8 o'clock. Or I'm not comfortable with talking about that topic. If you're at work and people are talking about certain things and you just kind of laugh things off, like, it's okay for you to just say, I'm not comfortable with talking about that topic. Or let's say you got this friend, which I think everybody has been through this, where you have that friend who, is going to move or like need your help with something. And the way you can set a boundary is say, hey, look, you're my friend, I love you, but I'm going to need 24-hour notice, before I can agree to help you or agree to do this thing. Like, I'm going to need some time. That way I can figure out how to, see if I am or if I'm not available. Or here's another one. You can tell people like, hey, look, my Sundays are for me to rest and for me to recuperate. And so on Sundays, I'm not making myself available to anyone. And it's my time, is my day to just kind of, relax and get my mind straight for the week coming, right? And I think that those, 3 or 4 ways that I just explained are ways that you can, honestly set boundaries and not come off as, being disrespectful. It's very simple, it's respectful, and it's direct, and it's making people respect your time. So, and I think one of the most important things, and probably what you've been waiting for, is how do you set boundaries without feeling guilty? I think you have to start by understanding what guilt really is. Like, guilt is a signal. It's not a verdict. We're not in court or anything like that. But, most of the time, you're not even feeling guilty because you did something wrong. You're feeling guilty because you decided to break an old pattern. One that said your needs will always come last. And to be honest, that's not guilt. That, to me, is growth. And, let's be uncomfortable with that growth and do it anyway, no matter what people think. Number 2, I think that it's important to practice, before it becomes like this pressure that's like on the inside and it gets to the point where you feel like you're about to explode. So, you want to set the boundary before you explode. Practice like in simple low moments, just like, hey, if somebody asks you to do something, just say, hey, let me check on some things and I'll get right back to you. Or the thing that I mentioned earlier, like, hey, I can't talk at 6, but let me call you back around 8 o'clock. Like, just little stuff like that to kind of get you into the habit of breaking those boundaries that you've just let people, just little stuff like that will help you kind of get into the habit of setting those boundaries. And like, say it in the mirror too. People underestimate how talking to yourself in the mirror, how important that truly is. Or you can say it to your spouse, or if you don't want to say it to your spouse, you can say it to a friend. You can say it softly, and then, get into that habit of saying it with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more strength. And number 3, let people be disappointed. Like, it's okay. And I know that's something that's really, 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 really hard for you to hear, but it's true. If you are not willing to let people be disappointed, you will always, and I mean always, be disappointed in yourself. Point blank, period. You have to allow these people to just be disappointed in you. And if they say it, that's even better. If you hear them say, well, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Yeah, you're disappointed because, you decided to take control over your life and not let them dictate how you decide to live and just kind of do things on their terms. No, you've taken back that power and you've decided to do things on your terms. And, some people naturally are going to resist your boundaries because that's just what people do. But it's because of your lack of boundaries that they feel like they can do this. And you just have to stay strong. And it doesn't mean that in that moment that your boundary is wrong. It just means that it is working. It is upsetting those people because they understand that, oh man, she set this boundary and she's really serious about it and she's holding firm on it. It's your job and your job alone to manage your own emotions and to set your own boundaries. It is not your job to manage everybody else's emotions, and it's not your job to make everybody feel amazing about you, okay? It's okay. I look at it like this. You're always going to be the villain in someone's story. You're never going to be the hero. And I'm not saying that you are a mean person or anything like that. What I'm saying is that in every single story, you will be the villain and you may not even know. Okay? But you have to be okay with that because it is your job to honor your truth. It's your job to do that. And I want you to remember this. Boundaries, they don't just protect your time, but they protect your peace. They protect your energy. It protects your joy. When you set a boundary, you're not pushing people away. So don't ever think of it like that. You're inviting the right people who will love you regardless of your boundaries into your space. And if we're being honest with each other, because we're locked in and you're here for a reason. So if we're going to be honest on this channel, and if we're being honest, tell me in the comments how many times you have wished someone had protected you the way that you have protected them and the way that you have protected everyone else. Tell me in the comments, because look, we're going to do this the honest way. So if you have enough strength to protect everyone else, then you need to find enough strength for you to protect you. So I just want you to know that you're not here on this earth to please everyone, okay? You're not. You are here to honor your purpose, to walk in your purpose. And that starts with honoring yourself. It starts with honoring yourself. Boundaries are, and I want you to remember this, actually write it down, like right now, write it down. Boundaries are brave. Boundaries are love for yourself. Boundaries are self-respect. They're all those things. Brave, love, and self-respect. So if this spoke to you, let me know in the comments, what boundaries are you ready to set for yourself? And be honest. And when you're done living in this world of burnout and you're ready to live on your terms, hit subscribe, because I want you to come back to this video, because your healing, your peace, and your power, they all begin with the boundaries you do or you don't set. If this video resonated with you in any type of way and you're ready to start, please, like I said earlier, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do today to start setting those boundaries, because that's what we're going to do. And the first step is just being honest with yourself, and let's talk about it. Share this video with anyone that you feel like needs to hear it. I appreciate every single last one of you. My name is Naisha Nicole. I love you guys. Peace.